With us now is Jim Alpiser from Garmin.
Hello again.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Been enjoying a few of the cultural things going on here in New Orleans?
I don't know anything about hurricanes down here. I'll start there.
Well, it depends. There are hurricanes and then there are hurricanes.
Yeah. I'll go for the colorful ones.
Okay. Well, that's.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll let that go right there. They don't. Yeah. I almost said something inappropriate. Anyway, Jim, thanks for joining us today, and we're looking at a lot of things here in the avionics industry, and I was talking a few minutes ago with John Uzakai. It seems like things have been a little bit on the flat side over the past year, as far as obviously when the report came out, the sales were down, and we didn't expect that really with the ADS-B mandate coming up. So what are you seeing at Garmin as far as the overall industry is concerned? What's kind of your state of the industry right now?
Sure. Well, that's a great question. I think we're in a fortunate position where maybe we're bucking the trend a little bit and doing better than what the industry report is currently showing. We've had a tremendous 2016. We're a public company, so all this information is out there and available for people to kind of take a peek at. But we had a pretty good year last year, quite honestly, and a lot of that was fueled based on ADS-B. We came out with a new series of transponders. Our GTX 345 is our new flagship ADS-B transponder, which is ADS-B out compliance, but also has the built-in UAT receiver, so you get the weather and the traffic and the whole picture benefits from that. And it's, quite honestly, it's kind of set the world on fire. And in the early days, we weren't even able to keep up with demand. It was tremendous. And since then, we've really been able to ramp up our production, and we've got a good rate rolling right now, and trying to have even more capacity for the future demand. We're still not, as an industry, we're still not equipping quite to the rate that we need to be in order to comfortably meet the 2020 requirement. And I think a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know that you actually have to be equipped by December 31st, 2019. So don't shortcut yourself that last year there.
We keep saying 2020 mandate, but it's really 2019.
It really is the end of 2019, and so yeah, we've had great success with the new transponder lineup, and we continue to innovate on a lot of other products. You know, our GTN 650 and 750 had great news last year, incorporating Connect capability, and that's the ability to do basically wireless database loading. So greatly simplifying the process of doing database updates now for our GTN 650 and 750. And if you're lucky enough to also have a G500 and 600 in the cockpit, you'll be able to get that rolled into your database, your wireless database updating as well. And so it really is kind of a lot of work that we've been working on behind the scenes for a number of years now, and it's coming to reality. And it's brilliant to see all the harmonistic wireless technologies helping benefit the world of aviation. And you know, our newest announcement, the G1000 NXI, is another demonstration of kind of a long-term commitment that Garmin has in the aviation industry and our existing customer base as well. So G1000 customers, particularly the King Air retrofit, has a really attractive upgrade available for it now to give it newer, better, faster displays, but also now incorporating the wireless database loading and built-in map HSI, which is really slick, getting all that situational awareness on the display. We've added in there our Surface Watch technology as an option, and so people can get better situational awareness of the airport or the runway that they're supposed to be landing on or taking off from. And if they happen to kind of make an innocent mistake there, our system's going to be looking in the background for them to try to make sure that they're aware of their situation and provide some audible alerts as appropriate to warn of any difficult circumstances there.
Now, Garmin has really a very broad product base. You've got installs for business jets and big corporate airplanes. And then you come all the way down to the portable transport between small airplanes kind of devices. What kind of business are you doing in each of those in each of those sectors?
You know, it's like you said, we've got tremendous solutions all the way up to big corporate jets and even beyond that in some cases. We're working on a lot of technologies there, and we've got apps, that start at $75 for an annual subscription. And so we go all the way down to that level, and then the portable products are kind of, maybe a step up from there, where you've got a dedicated aviation portable device. Over the past 12 months, we've introduced our newest Aero 660 product, which is a brilliant, vibrant, color-moving map display that just really incorporates all the latest technologies, all the latest mapping capabilities. We've got sectionals built into the thing, approach plates, synthetic vision. You can tie in that Aero 660 to a portable ADS-B receiver and get data link weather and traffic on the portable display. We continue to innovate on all sectors that we operate in. You take a step up from there, and our non-certified product line, our G3X product line, has made significant advancements. And one of the most popular announcements we had over the past 12 months is our G5, which is a backup indicator for the non-certified crowd, but it also serves as a replacement attitude indicator for older, aging aircraft. And so we really were able to work with the FAA to basically take technology that doesn't have a traditional TSO and get a STC, so it's still a certified product because it has STC'd, and we've done all the testing, and it really allows somebody to take a vacuum system, get that out of the mainstay, and really replace that with solid state attitude information, which is going to greatly benefit safety in the cockpit and flying, so you don't have a very failure prone device in the aircraft like a vacuum system to then provide you misleading attitude information. And so that G5 and that STC that we had for over 500 general aviation aircraft has been a significant accomplishment and a significant milestone for general aviation.
How are you finding people are accepting the smaller transportable products in legacy airplanes like Garmins and Pipers and Cessnas? Are you still seeing a lot of folks buying those to complement the six-pack seam gauges that they've got in their airplanes?
Oh, absolutely. Situational awareness is so key in this day and age. And, granted, iPads can do a tremendous amount for us, but our dedicated portable products are just an area that we've designed that thing for the aircraft or helicopter environment. And so sunlight readability is a key issue for us. And it's a bright, brilliant sunlight readable display. If things get warm in the cockpit, if you're flying in warmer territories, iPads have been known to get a little too hot in the cockpit at times and they shut down. Well, we actually build our products to a higher threshold, and so the performance and the capabilities that you get from that are going to be much more consistent and reliable.
What are you finding when people come to your booth? And I talked about this with John as well, but are people coming to your booth more with, here's what I want, rather than what do you have?
It's a really good question. I think we're pretty fortunate that customers in this day and age are pretty well educated. The internet and newscasts like this do an excellent job to help keep customers informed and aware. And so oftentimes we just get customers that have heard a little bit about something, but they want to dig a little bit deeper and get their questions answered because maybe they haven't found it in the materials that we produce. But we still get a lot of great ideas from customers, and we try to embrace those ideas via software improvement for existing products, as well as just creating new products and new technologies. And we plan and expect to have more of those types of announcements later this year.
What is, and again, when we talk about kind of the blue sky of things, and there's a lot of interest right now in devices like the phone and the pads talking to the avionics and the automatic database downloads and such. Where is the threshold that the airplanes start talking to one another through the devices that they have on board the airplanes?
Well, in some cases that technology kind of exists today. At some levels, you've got TCAS2, so you've got an active traffic system on board the aircraft that basically can detect other aircraft in the vicinity. And now with ADS-B, there's even more data that's being shared to the network, the air traffic control system network, as well as to other aircraft. And so I think that advancement in that type of technology is going to continue to happen. And with this day and age of wireless technologies, and we're moving at a pretty rapid pace right now, quite honestly, and it's really exciting to be involved in it. And from a customer standpoint, it means that you're getting incredible capabilities at reasonable prices.
what are some of the products that you're looking at now that will help someone who is maybe coming up through the training airplane? I know you've done a lot of installs in the basic Pipers and things that the G1000 I think is the one that is showing up in a lot more training airplanes. And then you have products that you're moving up as they move up and progress through their life as a pilot. Talk about some of those products and how they make that progression.
You know, it's in the training world today, there's a lot of great educational institutions that have made significant investments in having the most modern flight deck technology available to folks, and that would be G1000 or our newest G1000 NXI. But there's going to be other flight schools, smaller flight schools that may not be operating such nice new aircraft and are operating in a more conventional steam gauge type environment. Really, in all cases, we've got great solutions for them to try to help get their head into the game there, if you will. And I think about again our iPad application, our Garmin Pilot application. It's a fantastic tool for the beginner pilot, the trainer, and even really the very active and involved pilot. It's kind of as you become more knowledgeable, you just get more benefit out of the application. It's such an intuitive, graphical user interface. That's one thing that we've really focused on across our entire product line, is to simplify the user interface as much as we possibly can. And that's another step that we've made with our G1000 NXI. It's very familiar, but the interface that we've developed with G1000 NXIs are great above what we had with the legacy G1000. Thinking back to Garmin Pilot, very icon-driven user interface. And that icon-driven user interface in our Garmin Pilot application that starts at $75 for an annual subscription, that can then lead you into a GTN 650 or 750, which is our GPS nav comm product. Flying IFR approaches down to 200-foot minimums. That same user interface is very common with the Garmin Pilot interface. And in fact, you will continue to do your flight planning on Garmin Pilot, and then that flight plan can wirelessly transfer to the GTN 650 or 750 or G1000, G5000, those types of platforms. So the harmony and the synergy that we have across the product line is tremendous. Take that a step further, so you go from a GTN 650 or 750, you can then step into a G2000, 3000, or 5000 equipped aircraft, again integrated flight deck with PFDs, MFDs, all the bells and whistles there. That graphical user interface that you've been using on Garmin Pilot or on the GTN is also going to be familiar to the G3000, 5000 series of aircraft as well. So,
are you finding a lot of brand loyalty as well for people who have begun with maybe even the Garmin Nuvi in their car, or looking for the Garmin in their airplanes and moving right on up the line?
Yeah, I mean the name Garmin, I feel like there's actually a lot of passion out there for the brand that we've been able to produce, and the products that we've been able to produce over the years. And we've got a tremendously loyal following. We want to continue to reach out to those folks that haven't had a chance to fly behind Garmin products and give them the chance to do that. And again, that's where Garmin Pilot is that perfect fit. It's that easy way to give our line of user interface and products a try with without a major investment.
If you don't, and I know you're not going to answer this question with any great deal of detail, but kind of what is on the drawing board right now? What is Garmin looking at as kind of being the next big thing in avionics? Because you start to look at where there's almost a data saturation in the displays that you can have, and is there a way that what else can be displayed that Garmin feels like is necessary for cockpit safety, for aviation safety?
Yeah, well, that will continue to be our main focus, is how to continue to make flying easier and safer, and how can we either produce technologies or user interface that puts pilots in a better position for completing their successful flights and their successful missions. And so I think the innovation that you'll continue to see from Garmin is going to be more along the lines of trying to have that extra set of eyes out there for folks, or being able to better position the pilots when they need a little bit of extra help. And we've demonstrated that with some of the most recent announcements that we've had. And I think about our autopilot that's in our G1000 and our G5000. we've got something called electronic stability protection, or ESP for short. And that's a technology that's kind of working behind the scenes. And so if you're hand flying the aircraft and you kind of mistakenly start to overbank the aircraft, well, you get this kind of gentle force that brings you back towards a wings level.
Excuse me, you don't really want to do that, do you?
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's that type of technology, those types of philosophies where how can we help the pilot when things might not be going perfectly, and put them in a better position for success.
Well, Jim, thank you very much. We are out of time. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and hope you have a great show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Great.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 60th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from New Orleans, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
It's called AirText Plus. The mobile office is now a true, cost-effective win-win reality because being available and part of the communication chain keeps you in control. Visit us at www.airtext.aero for more information and get started staying in touch today.
The 2-inch MD93 digital clock and USB charger features intuitive operation with 4 modes: local time, universal time, flight timer, and stopwatch. The dual USB charging port supplies 2.1 amps of power per port to personal electronic devices with a USB interface. Learn more at mcico.com.